Hey guys, it's Miss Savela. So we're gonna go over how to do note cards. So the first thing we want to do before we can actually start our note cards is we need to go over this essential question. And our essential question is basically the main idea that we're asking ourselves about this particular topic. So the essential question is, why do school shootings keep happening and what can be done? So I put it earlier what I asked a different question, but basically, why do the school shootings keep happening? So some reasons that we came up with were mental health. We talked about gun reform. We talked about the media. We talked about social media and bullying, exposure to violence, we talked about access to weapons, we talked about police profiling. We talked about no real way to profile. Okay, we talked about school culture. We talked about a lot of things. Okay, so we basically did this list earlier today. I put strict laws or discipline. Okay, so all of those are good ideas about what could possibly be the reasons why there are still school shootings happening. Okay, and what can be done about it? That is a different question. But what can be done about it? Well, we can have mental health checks. We can have laws intended to help. Possible gun reform, if that's someone's point of view. Stricter social media laws. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that we can do. So what I want you to do for doing our note cards is I want you to kind of pick a direction you want to go in and go, okay, these are the three major things. So for me, I think I'm going to focus on, the three major things I'm going to focus on are strict laws. I'm going to also focus on mental health. And I'm also going to focus on media's role. Okay, you choose whatever you want. Okay, so maybe for you, gun reform is a big issue, a big topic. So you could do gun reform, but talk about why gun reform itself isn't good, or gun control isn't good, but gun reform is good. Or you can talk about access to guns or things like that. And you may find that this will change as you go along because your information is leading you in a different direction. So for instance, I've already started doing note cards, and media is one of my major topics, but I'm not finding a lot in here. So I either need to go back in here and I have to find more media, or I have to refine my topic. For right now, let's figure out how we're going to do a note card. So a note card needs to have several things, and that's on this sheet, which actually is online on Google Classroom, and it looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to fill this out, and here's what we're going to do. Okay, so we want to put our bucket number here, but we don't know what bucket we're going to put it in yet because we don't have our buckets. We're doing this kind of backwards. We're going to bucket after we do our note cards. Up here is going to be what source it is. So I'm going to take my notes from the first document that we did, document A. So I know that that's document A. I'm going to put that in the upper right-hand corner. Down here, I'm going to put down whether or not it's a quote, paraphrase, or a summary. I know it's a quote, so I'm going to put a Q for quote. Over here, I'm going to put the author, which I know is Mike Seeger. So I'm going to put Seeger. And then in the middle, I'm going to write down what page it comes off of and what paragraph it comes out of. So I know that this is the part that I'm going to reference. okay? And I can see that this is page 3 and this is paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's page 3, paragraph 4. What I need to do now is I need to actually take my note on this, okay? Now, I already did this part because I took a long quote. I took this long quote right here, what I have highlighted in pink, okay? I already did that, okay? And so I have this here. So the quote that I'm taking is more than half of mass shooters, researchers have found have symptoms of mental illness ranging from depression to paranoia to schizophrenia, but less than 1 in 4 of them sought mental health treatment. So yeah, this card is about mental health, but it really is about seeking treatment or going untreated. That's basically what this card is about, okay? One last thing I have to do is with my annotation tools, I want to go, okay, where did this come from? Which topic does this fall under? Remember the bookmark that I gave you? Mental health falls under pink. So I'm going to put a pink stripe across the top so I know that that's mental health. And that's it, pretty much. We have this done. Oh, I forgot to put down here, it's a quote. So there are 3 different types of resources we use: quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. And I don't have the second page right in front of me, but the difference between a quote, a paraphrase, and a summary is that a quote is taking the exact words that the author used, and you're using the exact same words. Word for word, you put it in quotes. Paraphrase is when you take a chunk and you go, okay, this is basically the basic idea, and you might use some of their words, maybe not, but basically you're taking their idea. You still got to give them credit. Okay, and then a summary is taking a whole article or a whole section and going, this is what it's about and this is why it supports me. The reason we need to do these note cards is because we need to support ourselves in whatever idea or claim we are going to create. Now remember, everything goes back to our essential question, which is why do school shootings keep happening and what can be done? Okay, so we want to know why they happen and what we need to do about it. Okay, so right here, if I were to look at that and think about, okay, this statistic tells me 1 of 4 have sought mental health treatment. So part of it is that people aren't seeking treatment. So what do we do for that? Well, in other articles, it talks about some of the solutions to that. Okay, so what you're doing is you're creating note cards that support whatever it is you're arguing. Then we're going to pocket them or bucket them into different categories next week. You need to do 20 note cards for Monday. So that's 20 note cards for Monday. And then another 10 for Tuesday. So you have a total of 30 when you come in on Wednesday or Tuesday. Because we are going to get to the next step of our essay. Okay, so make sure you have those done for Tuesday, okay? I hope you found this video helpful, and I will answer any questions you might have. Thanks, guys.